Tree. I'm gonna pick you up in 10 minutes. We're heading over.
Be careful driving.
I'll see you in 10. We're going to the Dollar Tree. What's up, guys? For this video, I'm doing a fall DIY. The cool thing about this is I went to the Dollar Tree and I spent only $30. I'm spending a maximum of $20. So that means I got 30 different items because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1. We're only buying things that are $1.
Whereas everything at the Dollar Tree is $1. Dollar Tree is specifically $1.
Is the Dollar Tree a real one?
It's a real one, yeah.
And I was able to make 5 different DIY decorations.
DIY. Do it yourself.
Can you feed me my water? Oh my god, stop it. I'm at a red light. I asked her to feed me my water, but not like this. Warning, this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Ah! Yeah, so this is what you're gonna be walked through. How to make that, do with it what you will. So I'm gonna put the links to each of the items that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. And here's everything that I got at the Dollar Tree. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. Let's start with the first project. So the first project are these 3 pumpkins right there. They look cute, don't they? So for my first DIY project, I'm going to... It was at this point in the video I realized I was going to do a voiceover to explain things. See those 3 big orange pumpkins? I painted 2 coats of acrylic white paint on them to start. After painting the pumpkins white, I carved out the top of the pumpkins so I could put the flowers in. Nice! My mom says the way I hold a knife is terrifying. I don't see it. Then I tried to cut these flowers off. I tried scissors, and I tried a pizza cutter, I tried a knife, and it was at this point that I quit for a second. We're gonna have to find some clippers. Give me a sec. I got some industrial scissors, and it was still difficult to cut. And this is difficult to stand up. Ow! Ow! As I was cutting the flowers, I was just placing them in the pumpkin in an arrangement that I liked. Later in the video, in like a couple seconds, I start gluing the flowers into place. But can you imagine it like this? You know? It's not done because this is gonna look better too. Just reserve your judgment until the end, please. Thank you. Alright, so then I took that disc that I had cut out of the top of the pumpkin and stuck my flowers into that and then glued it in place. And then I took out my hay and started stuffing the pumpkin and let some of the hay stick out. So this is where the rope comes in. There are 3 pieces of rope twisted together, so I untwisted those, and then I cut them to the right size, and then hot glued down, kind of in the indentations of the pumpkin, this rope. And I did that on all 3 of the pumpkins. There it is! It looks so good so far. Okay, so the next thing I did was cut 12 strips of ribbon in the length that I needed, and then I glued down the edges of the ribbon just to make it a little thinner, so then it would fit in between the ridges of the pumpkin. And I glued down the ribbon like every other white space. It ended up being 4 pieces of ribbon per pumpkin. So this is me just gluing those ribbon pieces down. Just make sure you're alternating where you're putting the ribbon, and it should look pretty good. My mom keeps saying that she wants to have dinner, and believe it or not, this is the dinner table. So 3 more DIYs coming at you after I eat dinner. Just kidding, I worked on it the next day, but here's the pumpkins at the table. I was looking at this, and I think it could use a little something, so what I'm gonna do is do a little bit of a sponge paint with a very pale orange, like a muted brown mustardy color, maybe mix a couple, and do it down the sides. This is completely optional. For me, when I was looking at it, it started to kind of look a little bit too much like styrofoam again, so I wanted to add a little bit of color to the bottoms. Like I said, I was looking at this a little too much, and I said, man, this looks way too much like styrofoam, so I took a watercolor paint and just blotted with a sponge down the side of the pumpkin to give it a little color. Completely optional though. If you want to keep it white, keep it white. This is the final look. Nice. Hey guys, it's Marissa from the end of the video again. The second project is this, the 3 pumpkins right there. Ooh, that's not pointing. These 3 pumpkins. Ooh. Okay, so for the next project, yesterday I painted these white. I think I put 2 coats of acrylic white paint. So I was thinking we're gonna line these up 3 in a row like this. And then I'm going to paint on them like a, just like a brown, kind of just give it a little depth. And then I'm going to connect them with pieces of this twine straight up and down so you can hang them on your wall. I started by painting the 3 pumpkins with 2 coats of white acrylic paint. And then I took a watercolor paint in brown, orange, and black. And I just started painting along where I thought the ridges of the pumpkin might be and try to make it have a little bit of depth. The center of the pumpkin should be coming out towards us, which means it would have more light. And the tops and bottoms of the pumpkin should be curving in, so it should be further away from us and be a little darker. And then I also painted the top of the pumpkin green and made that leaf orange. And rinse and repeat on those 2 other pumpkins. So then I just took the twine that I had detached from the pumpkin before I painted and put them back in the holes of the pumpkin. I think I used some twine that were from like the acorn or something, but yeah, so I just glued everything together. Really, you could just use any string to attach them together. Nice. And that's the final look for these 3 pumpkins. Ooh. Hey guys, it's future Marissa again. So the 3rd project is those 3 pumpkins sitting on a thing. That box had been painted white the day before, so I started cutting into the styrofoam just a straight line underneath the pumpkin, and then I stuck the pumpkins over the back of the cardboard box. Then I just made sure I liked the way the pumpkins were placed. I took the hay and just stuffed it underneath the pumpkins in the box, and then I cut around it to make it look a little bit more choppy. To help it stick, I just put some hot glue pieces, and here I am with the rope, and I just wrapped around the box on the top and the bottom. And this was a really simple project. Overall, I think this took like 20 or 30 minutes, and I really love the results. That's cute. I like that. Project number 4 coming at you now. Making those acorns. So for the acorns project, I just took a brown, black, and orange color and painted them very similar to how I painted the pumpkin. I made it a little darker towards the top and lighter towards the middle, and I had one of the 3 acorns a darker color than the other 2. Repeat the process on the other 2 acorns. I somehow didn't get a top view of this, but I think this is sufficient. You can kind of see what I'm doing anyway. And then I took the hay and just kind of roped it through the holes in the acorn that already existed. And then I also took some of that rope and made little bows out of it. And then I glued the acorns together and then hung it on the wall. Hey. Last and final project. If you stuck around to this point, you're a real one. You know, that's project number 5, the wreath. So if you want to watch that, do that. I took my 4 different flowers and plucked the flowers and the leaves off of the stem, and then I glued the leaf to the flowers. And I did that for each of the flowers. Yeah. Okay, now I have all the flowers glued to their leaves, and I'm going to start arranging my wreath how I want it. Now I think I want to do bunches of 3. 1, 2, 3, and then like something going through it maybe. So this next part is kind of self-explanatory. I just arranged the flowers the way I wanted them. Those 3 little pumpkins, I bought those at the dollar store as well, and I painted them the day before. And yeah, I just arranged them and glued them down. I like it. It's pretty cute. Hi. So that was the video. I have my DIYs behind me. Comment down below what's your favorite. I think my favorite is probably those 3 pumpkins, but I really like the wreath as well. And this one came out cute. I hope you liked this fall DIY, and definitely tag me on Instagram if you recreate any of these. That's it for this week. I'll see you next week on Wednesday, because I post on Wednesday. Bye.
Well, I read an Instagram post that someone said it's thoughtum, so
What does that mean? What does that mean?
like a thought, but thoughtum.
What is a thought?
Like a slut, basically.
Oh, well, we can't include that in the video. What do you think this is? This is a DIY channel that I occasionally rant on. I don't know what this channel is, actually. I'm parked, and every time I've looked at this camera, I've been in a red light, so if you freaking yell at me, I'll go crazy.
My thumb was just in the shot.
Come on! Get your thumb out of my glass!